Thank you very much. Jeff, thanks for calling out the sock game. I'm proud of it. Coach, I was at the game when you came back against Houston. You're welcome. I left at halftime. I feel very largely responsible for that as well. It was an amazing adjustment that you made, I thought, at halftime in terms of how you started defending them a little bit. And I was really impressed with the fact that your kids did not give up. And that one play after another mentality that you're trying to instill, I think it was obvious. It's not always obvious in professional sports that kids have that mentality. You and Coach Fritz have obviously instilled that, and it's something that we want to embody as well. You know, I think one of the things that happens when you play in a Western Conference that's as good as this one is, oftentimes when you've got young kids, not having success makes you shut down emotionally a little bit. And one of the things we really wanted to focus on with our group is exactly what Coach just talked about. We're 2 plays away from being in the game. And whereas Jeff was talking about Joe Burrows and the way that offense is scoring so quickly, I think somebody asked the question, is the defense tired? I was sitting next to Ken, I laughed. Yeah, the defense is tired because they're not getting to sit very long because you're so efficient offensively, you almost don't feel like you had a break as a defender. Well, in our sport, it doesn't work like that, so that's why I laughed a little bit. Our Suns teams led the NBA in scoring. We led it in three-point shooting, field goal percentage, assist-to-turnover ratio 4 years in a row. We also had the most talent in the NBA 4 years in a row. And we went to the conference finals twice during that period. Never made it to the NBA finals because we didn't have any of the attention to detail that these gentlemen just spoke about. We didn't have any of that. We were a team that at the time, being coached by Mike D'Antoni, he was a revolutionary offensive coach. But we didn't put any time or energy into the defensive side of the ball because our game plan was, and this was very much something we coached to, we are going to score so much that you quit trying to score. And Coach D'Antoni's belief was we would prove that the team with the most points at the end of the game played the best defense. It doesn't work like that when you play other great teams. And so philosophically, because I made those mistakes before we got here to New Orleans, I felt really grateful for the fact that we've learned a lot of things along the way. We learned a lot of things in Cleveland that, frankly, we failed miserably at, that we're going to be able to apply here in New Orleans. And by the grace of God, we've got Mrs. Benson as an owner. It's what drew me here more than anything possibly could have. And Ken, I really want to thank you for the opportunity to speak here today. It's also really nice of you to have me come after Mrs. Benson and Dennis Lauscha, so no upstaging done there at all. Mrs. Benson and Dennis Lauscha, our CEO, he has a different title, but that's what he is. He's in charge of everything for the Saints and the Pelicans. They've been so receiving of the ideas that we've put forth as a basketball group that it's almost impossible for anybody that would have been in my position taking over to not eventually succeed. The bandwidth they've given us financially is unparalleled. It's something that has never existed here before. And I think our players, as they've come back and seen all the renovations we're doing to our building, not quite to the level of LSU, by the way. I saw what you guys did. That's embarrassing. It's really incredible. What we've done in terms of the renovations is we want to continue to put our money where our mouth is. We want to continue to invest in the things that we tell our players we're about. We have a very clear identity that we're trying to hone as a group. Culturally, we want to be about the right things together. And fortunately, all of our players that are here are buying into that. But all of the players who returned this year, this summer, after we got the improvements to the facility done, were blown away by everything that we were able to do. And it was just one more bit of evidence of Mrs. Benson and her ownership team investing in the process. And I think because of that, we have an opportunity to continue to build. And we have a template that we can build to. But what we're really excited about is we've had 17 players on campus for more than 3 weeks heading into training camp. This is my 26th NBA camp. I've never seen that many guys here in advance of training camp, anywhere. We won a championship in Cleveland. We had like 11 guys show up before training camp started. Guys would trickle in and out. This group has been all about it and all about each other from the very beginning. Our 3 rookies, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Zion Williamson, and Jackson Hayes, they've been at LSU together. They've been at Tulane together. They're a part of the community, and they want to continue to be a part of the community. Drew Holiday was at the Tulane game that I was at the other day. We want to continue to be a part of the fabric of New Orleans. And as I took over and we started talking about what we want to be as a group of people, what we want to be as a team, and what we really want to embody, it became really clear when you're here. You know, I gained 18 pounds from May 1st until August 1st. And I was gone the entire month of July. So I did a lot of work in a very short period of time, getting to know this city and the restaurants in this city and the wine in this city. It's a beautiful place in that sense. I spent a lot of time also getting to just learn the culture and to meet people like all of you. This organization is just one of many that we're going to get to be part of and interact with, and we want to continue to do that. I do not want to continue to gain 18 pounds every 2 months, but that's a whole nother deal. But we're learning and giving of ourselves, and we want our players to do that. So everything we do as an organization is going to be about modeling that. Everything we do from an advertising perspective is going to be about modeling those types of things. But more than anything else, it's going to be, we want to build a team that's in the ethos of the city that we represent. We have a really special opportunity here. So we won a championship in 2016 with Cleveland. It was the only championship in Cleveland professional sports in 52 years. And we achieved that on a Sunday. We had a parade on a Wednesday. And by Thursday morning, all anybody wanted to talk about on sports radio was the Cleveland Browns coming off of an 0-16 team. We weren't what anybody talked about. We have a really special opportunity because that team is our family and the Saints. And so, whereas people used to look at that and say, and people question me in the same way, geez, Griff, don't you think you're taking over the team that's the stepchild of the Saints? I said, hell no, they're going to make a lot of money that we're going to spend. I feel really, really grateful that we have that connection, that I have Mickey Loomis as a professional mentor to spend time with. He's about as good as there's ever been in the NFL at what he does. And he's right across the street. He's right across the parking lot. And we can bounce things off of each other in a way that's really productive. We won that championship in Cleveland, and you would have thought the city was going to come to an end. They did an aerial photograph of the parade that day after the fact. We had more than 2 million people in downtown Cleveland that day. It was one of the most breathtaking things I've ever seen. That championship wouldn't have mattered that much anywhere else in the NBA other than right here. So since that time, Mrs. Benson was the 7th billionaire that I met with that owned a sports team, and I talked about, are we a fit for each other? 7 different billionaires had an opportunity to say they cared about the community and that they wanted to win for the people of their community. Not one person said that except Mrs. Benson. She's the only person that is in and of the fabric of this city first. That's all she wants to be. We're caretakers of a sacred trust for everyone in it. Every player that comes here is going to know that. This place is different. It's a lot different. And it's not for everybody. The situation is going to recruit itself. I can't recruit like Jeff can recruit. We're not going to win the sex appeal game. We're not going to win the we have more money in our practice facility than everybody game. We're not going to win the boy isn't our market cool off the court game for the kids that care about nonsense. But if you care about something real, if you're substantive in any way, this city's going to speak to you. It speaks to Drew Holiday. That's why we built the team around Drew Holiday. That kid is everything you want a best player to be. Literally everything. I mentioned the defensive thing for a reason, and I told Ken this when we got here. We will be the fastest team in the NBA, just like our Suns teams. Alvin Gentry coached the last of the Suns teams that went to the conference finals. That team had no business going that far. But what Alvin did was he overlaid the concept of defense with a group that had never played it, added it to elite offense, and all of a sudden we go to the conference finals. We win 54 games. It was far and away the least talented of all of the teams that we had that went to the conference finals. We had 3 other teams win 60 games, didn't defend anywhere near as well. So when I got here, Alvin Gentry being here was a really, really big deal for me because I know he wants to play fast and he'll be really good at it. Well, the other thing we're going to be really good at when you look at our roster, and we've gotten to see it all summer, Matt Ryan from our PR staff is here, and he's been in the gym and gotten to see this. We are crazy long and we are crazy athletic. We're young and full of energy. And we all have something to prove. So that team will be the only team that I've ever been part of that can defend at the same pace that we can play offense. So whereas LSU's defenders right now aren't getting enough time to catch their breath, our guys aren't either. But if we're really, really good at this, we're going to run the bejesus out of the teams we play to the point where they stop trying to counterpunch. And if we can make that happen, we can be really, really good really quickly. We also could be the 10th seed in the West. It's what our conference is. It's a meat grinder. This will be a historically deep and good Western Conference. And our kids are going to have to become really, really adept at getting to the next play. Going to have to get really, really good at next play's over with, let's fail better. Let's fail better. And we're trying to apply that same startup concept to every single game. So when everybody talks about our expectations, you're going to see me do everything I can to dampen those. We are very intentionally not building this team around Zion Williamson. He's a 19-year-old kid who's a new and on athlete. Drew Holiday is a grown-ass man. And he's that man. Zion's going to learn how to be that guy from one of the best two-way players that he possibly could have learned from. And if it goes really well, maybe one day Drew will turn to Zion and go, you know what? This is your team. And if it doesn't go really well, then we're going to win a whole lot of games a whole nother different way. Because that's what we're here to do. And I'd like to share something with you guys. I think we can get the video cued. This ad dropped today. This is our tagline for the season. It's everything that we want to be. This came not from our marketing department. This came from our basketball people meeting with everybody in marketing, saying this is who we are, this is what we're going to be about, this is what we want our team to represent. Can we create something that fits that? And what they did, Ben Hales and Jen Martindale and their team, what they did bringing together basketball's vision in this campaign, literally I watched the first one of these and I was truly like shaken. I get emotional sometimes. Some of you probably saw that in my press conference. I get a little overwhelmed. When truth hits you, you feel it. To me, this was our truth as a franchise, and it's something that I cared very deeply about sharing, first with our players. Our practice facility is going to be branded with this. But this is not a statement of who we are so that we sell tickets. This is a statement of who we are so that everybody that looks at us from the outside can determine, am I made to be part of that or not? Because not everybody's made to be part of this. And that's Okey Doke. We're comfortable with that. If sex appeal's your thing and you need a big market, Okey Doke, see you later. If doing something meaningful in a community that will care for people that love coming to support their teams every day means everything to you, we're going to be the team you want to be part of. And this is supposed to really start to lay that groundwork and send that message. Do we have that up here?
300 years of ghosts and storms does a funny thing to town. New Orleans doesn't get scared. We know who you are. We might even know your name. But here's a little piece of advice. You might not want to remember ours. Welcome to New Orleans. It's not gonna be easy for you.
So the verbiage, welcome to New Orleans, this will not be easy for you, was a really, really big deal for me. And the first few times we said it, like I literally would choke up. This has to become something that's really nasty and hard. So the challenge from me to everyone that I meet is you represent the energy you want us to play with. Don't wait to be entertained. You bring it every day. I was at the Saints game. I watched Drew do the "Who Dat" chant where he drops his fist down and everybody loses their mind. That came from winning. That was wrought out of winning. What we have to do here is flip the script a little bit. We need to win. We need victory being wrought out of doing that, right? We need to be the ones that generate the energy that will generate the winning. And if you do that, the kids we have, there will be no impediment to success whatsoever. We don't have any reason that anybody's going to be me-oriented. We don't have anybody on this roster that's going to give a damn about their touches or their number of shots or any of that shit. That's not what we care about. We care about busting your ass. That's what we're going to care about. So that's my challenge to everyone. Bring that, and we're going to bring our side of it. I promise you that. We will bring our effort every single day. Won't bow down is real. But we need to rise up and do our part for them, because this is not going to be easy, and we don't want to make it easy for anybody else. Thank you.